do the fist bumps. I'm liking the formalities. It's interesting. First of all, just to get it out of the way, it's pretty obvious, especially this time of year. There's really no way that I can hide it. It's a part of my personality, and it's I shouldn't keep it all inside. I am American, and I'm very sorry. It's been interesting, especially today. It is the 4th of July, is it not?
Yes.
So I wake up to all these Facebook posts on my feed from my American friends, apparently, who think this is very clever, I guess. So keep in mind, this is at like 1 p.m. I said I woke up. And they're all saying, suck it, England, y'all have to work tomorrow. Like, first of all, by the time I read this, it's already tomorrow. By the time you guys posted it at 11 p.m. Midwestern time, it was probably already tomorrow. But, I don't think it's not that big a deal. I was like, I think we're still recovering from the 3 bank holidays. I'm amazed we didn't blow the place up, honestly. I don't think we could handle another one yet. Especially with fireworks. We wait till November for that around here. But I'm sure they're busy blowing up half of America right now with their fireworks. But what better way to show that you love your country? That is a Simpsons joke, to blow up a small piece of it, but I can't help it, that's a good joke. Always give credit where credit is due. It's been quite interesting. I've been over here, I've been out of the US for 10 years. Actually, last week. So I feel like I'm celebrating my own kind of Independence Day, right? That has absolutely nothing to do with the American flag. But yeah, it's interesting, for sure. So I am always glad to be in Leeds, because I do live in Wakefield. It's amazing they let us out. Quite a lot of us, they don't. It was a bit concerning, So I came over there. I was living in Romania, and I met my partner. He had the house here, and he was like, "Why don't you come to Wakefield?" Like, that's an interesting proposition. Like, where is it? Never heard of this one. He's like, look at a map. So I looked at a map. I'm like, oh, it's in the middle. It's like, no, it's not in the middle. It's in the north. Like, but if you look at a map, it's literally in the middle. It's like, that's not how it works. I'm like, how does it work then? He's like, well, your friend Alex that lives in Birmingham? I'm like, yeah. It's like, some people think he lives in the north. It's not in the fucking north. Like, some people think he does. Some people think anything north of the M25 is the north. Anyway, obviously now I know I'm in the north. But man, that was really tough to scratch to get my head around at first. And so I go to the Wikipedia too, because I got to find out more about this Wakefield place. Because everything I Google comes up with Massachusetts. Like, I ain't living in Greater Boston. That place has some issues. But of course, when you Google or when you Wikipedia Wakefield, what do you think the first thing that comes up is?
Prison.
Yeah. But I felt very comfortable being in the company of some of the people, most famous people in Britain. I spent an awful lot of time there. Shipman, Hindley, household names, really. So the one thing I couldn't scratch my head around was, why do you put a prison right in the middle of the country? I mean, 2 hours to London, 2 hours to Edinburgh, the train station's a block away. I mean, I know escapes are rare, but I don't think those barriers at Westgate are going to do much. And I'm not sure that the LNER conductor is going to be able to get them out of the bathroom before at least Peterborough. Some frightening stuff. Anyway, so I did adjust here, and then right around when I was getting adjusted, my partner died. Yeah, so I'm a 38-year-old widow. Got a lot of weird stuff going on with it, but we're not going to get into the weird dating stuff today. I mean, it's been a year and a half since he died, so there's some weird stuff that goes on because you have a teenage phase that nobody tells you about and all kinds of weird shit. But, you know, like that part you can sort of deal with. But on Tuesday last week, I get a letter from the Home Office about our residency. My residency. I say our, he is dead, but it is our because it's based basically entirely on him. About our application, and they said there is no proof that we were in a committed relationship between 2018 and 2021. Now, I don't know if you guys remember a few things about between 2018 and 2021, but there are at least about half that time is very, very hard to document because nobody was going anywhere. We weren't taking selfies in our house like, hey, you know. And even then, is the metadata really going to be good enough? But, so anyway, I got 10 days to put together all this evidence that we were in a committed relationship. I'm like, well, you know, well, first of all, I'm obviously doing the official stuff like contacting airlines, yada yada. But, you know, I'm like, well, our messenger chats, obviously. So I pulled all of those. There are over 1 million words of them. Like, I'm a translator, I work in words, so I know what 1 million words is. That is 3 times the volume of War and Peace. I'm like, that alone you would think would be enough, but it probably isn't. So I've got to scroll through all these things and make sure that the date is visible on all of them. So actually it's fairly easy to go, well, it's not easy, but to go through that period and find the ones that could be used as legit evidence. Then I'm also like, you know, like, what do they want? Like, should I have the ones where we're bitching about the Tories? What about the ones where I'm like, Priti Patel is evil? Like, I don't know, maybe the Braverman Home Office is more kind to us. You know, and I really don't think they want our sects. But then maybe that would make it look more legitimate. I'm like, you know, like the whole idea that you have to prove to them that this is a real relationship in the first place is absurd. I mean, I'm still living in his house. Like, he's been dead for 1.5 years. They send this stuff to me saying we're not in a real relationship to the dead guy's house. How do they think I'm getting this stuff? Like, it's some crazy shit. But, yeah, I think I'm gonna finish up here soon. But I'll leave you with this story. You know, so obviously he died. I didn't have a lot of clothes here in England, so I did have our wedding dress. And I went and got it dyed black for the funeral. And well, actually, I did that myself, but I had to get all the wrinkles that the dyeing process creates ironed out, or whatever they do at Asda. So I took it down to the cleaners at Asda or whatever. And I go to pick it up, they're like, we went over it 4 times, I don't think we got them all. I'm like, it'll be fine, the funeral's tomorrow, I'm not fucking negotiating. So they give it back to me, I've got it in my backpack, I'm walking up this horrible suburban road from the Asda in Wakefield. And I'm like, I fucking need a cigarette today. Probably worst day of my life up to that point, you know? And so I stop in this horrible gas station, which just like completely run down or whatever.